Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day. It is beautiful here in Philadelphia. It is sunny and breezy. I think it rained the whole week we were gone, and it's pretty nice today, got to tell you. Fred and Lisa, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Joe, good morning. Happy Sunday to you as well. Felicia, how are you? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. Hope, thank you very much. It is very nice to be home. It was that coming home day is a long day. It was a long day yesterday. Had to pick up the pup. Crazy things. I'm getting a customer is texting me from the port. That is never a good thing. Let's check it out. I'm telling you. All right. Disaster averted. Hopefully, we'll see if they text back. Katie Myers, good morning. Hope you are having a wonderful Sunday as well. Let's get into some cruise news. First off, just got home from Icon of the Seas. What an amazing, amazing trip. I'll have all my videos. I'm kind of collecting my thoughts. I'm going to do my debrief today at some point. I'm going to record that. So that'll be out probably in the next 2 days. I'll tell you when. I think Monday is going to be the debrief for sure. And then I'll do the pre-cruise, vlog stuff and all that. Yeah, I think it's going to be Monday. So I'll have that done tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That's aggressive. So really had a wonderful time. I love the ship. So we'll talk about that a lot. But I have things that I wasn't thrilled about. And I think it's an overall issue with cruising, not so much an Icon issue. But alas, here we are. So I'm telling you, people at the ports, wait till the last second. So yeah, I had a great time. I have no serious complaints at all. The ship is just beautiful. There are so many things I love about the ship. We'll talk all about it this week. So let's get into the news of cruising. First up, of course, is there are going to be more perfect days, which we already knew. But there was a big reveal this past week for the Perfect Day Mexico and all the other Perfect Day and Royal Beach Club things. So Perfect Day Mexico, of course, is going to debut in the fall of 2027, a little over 2 years from now. You could tell we were at Costa Maya this week, and in going to Costa Maya, I did notice that the port is, so I was there probably 2 years ago, and we had a good time at the port. I thought it was, it's not the best port in the world, let's be honest, but it was a really nice port, and there was like a lot of things you could do for free. There wasn't a lot that you had to pay for. And in going there this past week, you could tell that it's in a little bit of disrepair. Like it looks like nobody's been paying attention to it, which makes a ton of sense because Royal Caribbean basically bought the port. So that's interesting to me. So it looks like, I'm guessing they're going to get underway pretty soon with construction. We still had a good time there, but it just seemed a little dingier than last time. It didn't seem clean. It just seemed a little blah. But so what we know so far is that this is going to be at Costa Maya. It's going to have the tallest water slide in North and South America, which is pretty fun. It is going to have a mile-long lazy river, which looks incredible. And it's got the world's largest sombrero on the water slide, which looks hilarious. And then they have a bunch of other things coming up. We know about Paradise Island, the Royal Beach Club, which is coming this December. We know about Royal Beach Club Cozumel, which is going to be 2026. And then Lilipa is going to come out, which is in Vanuatu out in the Pacific there. That is going to come out in 2027 as well. So they're knocking out these private island destinations. I think it's just going to keep going and keep going. Perfect Day Mexico is going to be much larger than Perfect Day at Coco Key, which is crazy and awesome. I can't wait. So the water slide is it's called the Loco Water Park now. It's pretty fun. So this is way bigger than the water park at Perfect Day, Coco Cay. So it's just going to be wild. The water slide is going to be 170 feet. It takes 2 minutes to get down that water slide, which is crazy. So they're going to have a bunch of things. The Hideaway, again, adults only. It's called El Hideaway, which seems ridiculous. The Splash Cove, it's going to have that Costa Beach Club, which is going to be your Cocoa Beach Club out there. It's now going to be the Costa Beach Club, private cabanas, heated infinity pool. There are going to be 2 chill beaches, north and south. Fiesta Plaza, it seems very inappropriate, hilarious. Fiesta Plaza, and then it's going to have a ton of bars and restaurants, as is pretty normal. It's going to be hit for all Western Caribbean itineraries from Galveston, New Orleans, and some from Florida. And you can start booking excursions and different things like that this fall, which is super duper exciting. And there could be some itineraries that I'm hearing about that include Perfect Day Coco Cay, that include Perfect Day Mexico, and include Labadee at some point if it gets reopened or whatever happens there. There's no plan to close Labadee either, so who knows? We'll see what happens. Cheryl McGee, good morning. Good to see you here. Charlie, hope you're doing well. Hope you are having nice weather. Nicole, good morning. Hope you guys are all doing well. Next bit of cruise news. We have a sad story out of Carnival. Again, it's another life lesson here. So this woman obviously went to the New York Post, and she's done a bunch of media about it because she feels slighted about it. And I kind of understand where she's coming from. So she had a miscarriage 3 days before her Alaska cruise. And she called up to cancel the cruise and get a refund. And basically, she was told that there was risk of hemorrhaging and all these different complications. So they advised her not to go on the vacation, which was a birthday present to her mom, 50th birthday party present to her mom. So she called Carnival, and they basically told her, look, you don't have travel insurance. So there's nothing we can do. You didn't book through us. She obviously didn't book a third party travel insurance. So she was out of luck. She called, they said, you can write to corporate. She called and sent emails to corporate over the weekend, which they're not there. So corporate's not working on the weekends. And she finally got somebody that reached out to her, and she didn't like their response, basically told her the same thing, offered her an upgrade on her next cruise. And then finally somebody reached out to her and offered her some credits. And I think they're probably going to wind up giving her a free cruise because she complained a lot, which probably isn't great. So the reason, obviously, it's really hard to everybody, the natural response here is to feel empathetic for her and to have sympathy on her. She went through a horrible experience, and she felt like she wasn't being heard by anyone. So that's not great, right? You want the people to at least be sympathetic and to understand, but they also have a job to do, and they can't just say, okay, well, we're just going to give you your money back. And the problem here is that if you go through a traumatic experience like this, we all have to understand that we may think like, well, Carnival's $1 billion company, and so is Royal Caribbean, all of them. Why can't they just give her money back? And the thing is because this happens almost every week. There are thousands of cruises going out every week. There are people, it's awful, right? It's an awful realization of life, but there are going to be horrible things that happen. People are going to die. We're going to lose people. People are going to have surgeries, and she had this terrible miscarriage, which is awful. But if the cruise line starts just saying, okay, well, anything that happens, you can call the last minute and we're just going to give you your money back, that's not reasonable. I know it sucks. It sounds terrible and it's insensitive and everything else, but you can't run a business like that. As much as I think these companies are gouging people at this point and charging too much money, and there's interest problems there, right, that I agree with. But you can't run a business by saying like, okay, every time something happens, we're just going to give you your money back, because everybody would call and say that something happened. because that's what people do. People find ways to manipulate the system, and then it destroys everything. So again, sad realization, but another reason to remind everybody to get travel insurance. It doesn't cost you that much money. It's so stupid. She's going to lose $5,000. It doesn't, it's just crazy. Charlie, good point. So it's a really, really good point. If they sell that cabin twice, totally agree. Yes, that's a valid point. So if they're then going to sell that cabin and get that money, I totally agree with that. So if there's some kind of implication there where if you cancel and the cabin is sold, like that's a great solution, right? If they say, hey, if you cancel and we're able to sell this cabin, you'll get your money back. If we are not, which they will be, you don't get your money back. That seems reasonable to me. I know they probably won't do that, but I agree with you. That's a very, very good point. So that seems very, very, very reasonable. Tony Diaz, how are you? Good to see you here. Congratulations on your Knickerbockers winning and going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's awesome. But Charlie, yeah, I agree completely. I think that's a valid point. And if there was some condition in there for that, I think that's great. And look, let's be honest, at this point, they're definitely selling those and people are doing upgrades to get into rooms where people cancel anyway. Great point. Very, very fair point. Fred and Lisa still hoping on Symphony in October, but rooms running out. You can see if I picked my room, it's a lot more expensive. I was shocked by the huge difference. Yeah, look, cruises, it's still crazy right now. Pricing is leveling somewhat. Some cruises are, some cruises aren't. I just repriced someone's Holland American cruise today, went down $900. Nothing wrong with that. But it's a transatlantic. It's slightly different. Caribbean cruises, not really dropping. Cruises out of Bayonne and Baltimore, not dropping at all because there's high demand and low inventory. So it's not a good combination. Next bit of cruise news, we have a new Norwegian air scam that people are doing. So Norwegian has sent out a reminder to people to, be very, very cautious and careful. People are calling people that have cruises booked. I don't know how they're getting the information they've cruises booked. This could be people posting on the internet saying like, hey, I booked a Alaska cruise. Somebody finds out and they're calling and saying like, hey, I work for the NCL Air Department. We're going to book your flights for you. And then they take their credit card and book flights that don't exist and just basically are stealing their money. So be careful. Don't talk to anybody unless you call them. Another great reason to use a travel agent. I am not falling for those scams. So next bit of cruise news, Celebrity Beyond is back in Miami. It finished its overseas voyages for the winter, and it is back here. One of the things I was really surprised about when we were in Miami, there were only 3 or 4 ships that went out when we went out, and when we got back, I think there was only 4 ships as well. It was us, NCL Gem, Celebration, and one other Carnival cruise ship. Horizon, maybe? But our Uber driver was telling us when there are 10 ships, 9 or 10 ships there, it's like at least an hour to get out of the port now. So it's not great. But I do have some tips on doing that, which I'm going to do a video on. MSC Meraviglia is getting a tune-up this week. This week's cruise was canceled. Actually, this one today, there's a cruise going out. Thank God. Needed some technical repairs. It was having a little issue with propulsion and some other things. That has been fixed. It is kicking back into service today. I haven't heard any different, so everything looks like it's going to be good. Thank God for that. Hey, Ryan, thanks, man. Trip was awesome. I am looking forward to meeting you on the getaway now. It's going to be awesome. People are struggle city today. I'm getting more messages from people at the port. I'm telling you. Thank you very much again, Ryan. Yeah, everything was awesome. I'm going to do my debrief that'll come out tomorrow. I'm going to record that today. And then I'll do the pre-cruise stuff and all of our vlogs I have to get done. I have a lot of video of Icon. Very, very, very cool ship. I know Tony Diaz does want to hear about it. Tony C, good morning. How are you? Hope you are having a great week. Next bit of cruise news, and I have some thoughts about this. Cruise news crime hits a 2-year high on cruise ships. And most of these are terrible things like sexual assaults and fights and all the things that we're seeing. I do have some thoughts on this. So when I do my debrief tomorrow, one of the things that I'm going to talk about is this is my second Royal Caribbean cruise this year. I was on Carnival in January, and then Royal twice, MSC, and then now my next 3 are going to be Norwegian. But, I can take down my little icons. I got to change my sign. So my thought here was, in being on Icon and being on Independence this year, I noticed something a little bit troubling. And what I noticed is that the crowd on both ships, Independence and Icon, was a much more Carnival crowd than the normal Royal Caribbean crowd. And it's funny to me, I hear a lot of people say that, Carnival's the budget cruise line. That's why there's behavior problems. And it's, trashy people that aren't paying enough. That's not the case with Icon. It was very expensive, this cruise. And my theory with this crime and all this other thing is, one, people that are going on these cruises, Royal Caribbean is attracting, and they're going after new cruisers, people that are new to cruising. It's their big marketing plan. We're going after new cruisers. Well, guess what? That's what Carnival's plan was for all these years. It was everybody's first cruise line. That's what Carnival was. And I think that's where a little bit of the disconnect is. Yes, are there fights and all these trashy things that go on Carnival? Yes. Is it more on Carnival than anywhere else? Sure. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen anywhere else. And I'm starting to see that bleed through into Royal, especially on these last 2 cruises that I've been on. And let's be clear, I did the whole video on how much my Royal Caribbean cruise was. It was a lot of money. And that means everyone that was on that cruise paid more than I did. I had a group rate that I booked 2 years ago on an inside cabin. So everybody was above me, paid more money than me, spent more than $4,000 on their cruise, and everybody had the drink package. Believe me, they did. So we saw a lot of bad behavior. We saw a lot of the normal things that I've harped about a little bit in the past year or so, of seeing people with Bluetooth speakers just walking around blasting music on Bluetooth speakers, people vaping all over the ship. And one of my biggest issues with Royal Caribbean, I know Matt Hochberg talks about this a lot, is at the heart of all things, I'm a rule follower. So I follow the rules. I try to be respectful. I love cruising. I want everybody else to love cruising. I want it to be an amazing experience. So when I see people doing these things, the same old things, just being gross, just blasting their music, doing whatever they want to do, being mean to the staff, causing drama, all the stuff that people do. My initial reaction is, I understand that this is a service business, and I understand that Royal Caribbean doesn't want to create conflict and all these other things. But then just don't have rules. If you're not going to enforce the rules, you're only aggravating the people who are following the rules, because then we're the idiots, right? So if you're saying you're not allowed to do this, but then anybody can do it, well, then why do we have lines? Why do we have anything? Because you're not following those rules. I saw it with people in the dining room. There's rooms, I don't know what this new trend is too, of people walking around barefoot. I saw so many people walking around barefoot in the promenade. Here's the grossest thing. People going into bathrooms barefoot might be the grossest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, but I digress. So I have a theory that this crime and the crime issues that we're seeing, the fights that we're seeing, and the degradation of the standards that I've seen on Royal this last year, and I had an amazing time on Icon. It's an incredible ship. But Independence and Icon, both of those ships this year, the people were more Carnival than they were previously. And I think it's just new cruisers. They don't know how to act. And I think that not enforcing the rules is telling them that there are no repercussions for what they're doing. If we just followed the rules and everybody stuck to the rules, it'd be a nicer experience for everyone. But, whatever. What are you going to do? It's not my thing. I don't make the rules. I would love to enforce them. Again, like I said on Wednesday, just give me a taser. Just give me one taser and a few hours on the ship. We'll get things lickety split. Will be good. Definitely looking forward to meeting you, Ryan. Hope you guys are ready to have a good time. Fred and Lisa, I bought the soda package. I can drink clear diet soda. Email Royal. Yeah, definitely Sprite Zero, Coke Zero, all those different things. Definitely. I drink Coke Zero, so definitely. Hello, Cruising on the High Season Travel. How are you guys doing? Good to see you here. Charlie said people are probably peeing in the pool too. Listen, Charlie, the main pool, not that there's a huge main pool on the Icon. There's a lot of pools on there, but the Royal Bay pool, which is the largest pool, was closed 3 days. We talked about it on the Wednesday live stream, but it was closed 3 days, twice for people throwing up in the pool, one for people not throwing up in the pool for something else, which is even grosser. So, yeah. The other thing that they don't enforce the rules are babies in the pool, babies in diapers in the pool. Babies in diapers should not be in the pools or the hot tubs. And we saw it the whole time. It was gross, so gross. Michelle, I agree completely. Do not want to be barefoot in the bathroom. So gross. Yep, Tony, totally true. 3 and 4 day cruises are going to attract more of a party crowd. But look, we were on Icon, 7-day cruise, a lot of money. And it was basically the same crowd I saw on Independence. Black Broadway Lady said, I'm totally petrified. I'm fairly new to cruising. MSC Meraviglia was my first cruise. Had an overall awesome time. 9 day, you're going to be fine on Venezia. It's going to be fine. It's a long cruise. You're going to be good. Don't worry. Look, here's the thing. I had an awesome time. We had a great time. It was a great cruise. You just have to, for me, I just have to learn to filter things out of that bother me, right? They're just bothering me. They're not bothering other people. Everyone else is drunk and having a good time. It's just me that's getting annoyed. So who cares? It's a me problem, not a them problem. So they're not going to change it. So I have to adapt. And either I'm going to continue to cruise on those cruises or I'm going to go somewhere else. Then I'm not going to do that because I'm doing videos and stuff. So it's me. I got to get over it. Going on your first cruise, on your first Royal cruise this October on Grandeur. Sail a lot on Intel. Yeah, you're going to have a great time on Grandeur too. You're not going to see that crowd on older ships. It's also the thing on Royal too with these first time cruisers is, look, in the 90s and the 2000s, in the 90s, 80s, 90s, when I started cruising was mostly old people, right? So even though I loved cruising and had these great experiences, a lot of it is they're not old people anymore. And my experiences were, I love that traditional cruising experience where you're playing shuffleboard and you're in the schooner lounge at night and there was a jazz singer or whatever was going on. And then we've gotten into all these great things, which I love so much about cruising. But now the median age since their first time cruises has dropped down to millennials. So you're getting younger people. They're drinking more. It's more of a party atmosphere. And that's what you're seeing as well. Laura, same thing. Length of the cruise. Yep. No one behaves on the booze cruises. It's just sad. You'll be fine. Don't worry. You're going to have a great time. Michelle's going to be on the Prima for 7 days. You're going to be great. You're going to love it. We were on the Prima for 5 days. We had a great time. Norwegian doesn't really have that same clientele for some reason. It's slightly different for whatever reason it is. But who knows? They're struggling right now, so they might just dive into it. Cruising on the High Seas said, how long have you been here on YouTube? Just hit 1,000 last week ago and now working heavily on my as I was very low of them. Yes. So we've been doing YouTube, I don't know, 3 years, something like that. It's a grind. Look, you'll find your audience. And the way we look at it is we're not YouTubers, right? So we didn't start out here. Here's what I will say. It's much easier to grow on YouTube if you go the route of Ben and David, or you go the route of Griff and Alyssa, where you dig into analytics and use clickbaity things. You do all those things, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. That's how to grow on YouTube. If you study everything on YouTube, I have a marketing company, so I do marketing every day. If you run with the clickbait and you do all of those things, and everything's highly marketing and highly trying to get people to click and making your thumbnail so that people will click on it, and then it doesn't matter what's in the video. That's not who we are. We're not YouTubers. We are a travel agency. Our goal here is to give people real transparent information. So yeah, if you're like, hey, I just want to get monetized and then make as much money as I can on YouTube, that's a completely different path. And we chose not to go that path. So we don't grow as quickly, and it's totally fine. I'm not trying to make a ton of money. I make very little on YouTube. We make, YouTube basically pays for our giveaways. That's it. But this is, we're a travel agency, and that's what we do. And we love to create the videos, and hopefully people enjoy them. So that's it. But yeah, good luck. I hope, whatever your path is, that you guys crush it. No, vaping is rough. And we were in the Crazy Quest, which is nuts to begin with. And there were people vaping weed, and people complained about it to the staff. And I saw somebody complaining to one of the people, and Judy and I talked about it, and I wanted to say something, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. We're not saying anything. I'm not going to be a snitch. I'm going to be a little snitchy people. Is what it is. Nah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, Fred and Lisa. It's totally on me. I let things bother me. For people not following the rules, I get upset about it. There's no reason to be upset about it. Yes, you're going to have a great time, Michelle. You will have a wonderful time. Tony, 12 days till Liberty, 9-day cruise. No Labadee. I know, Labadee stinks. But Turk and Caicos is awesome. Sad you're not going to Labadee. But Jeremy and Cheryl, hello, good morning. How are you guys? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that. Ryan said, I think you mentioned you enjoy dining solo. If you want to join me for dinner one night, my Latitude vouchers go to waste when I'm solo. Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Let me know. I'm happy to go to dinner anytime, any day you want. 7-day cruise. I'm here for it. And I have 4 vouchers. 3. I get 1 with my room, 2 more, and my dining with the officers. So yeah, let me know. Whatever restaurant you want to try, I'm happy to go. Or if you just want to do something else, whatever you want to do. Michelle said, I'm so glad you have the videos from the Prima. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy them. It's funny when we do videos that it really is, when you look back and you're like, well, what works, what doesn't work, and what ships are people gravitating towards? It's always weird ones. Like we did the Enchantment of the Sea stuff, and I was like, nobody's going to watch these, and everybody watched them. And then the Prima one, they've been very, very lightly viewed. So I don't know if everybody knew about the Prima or knows about it already. You never know. It's very hit or miss. I'm really eager to see the Icon stuff because Icon's been so overblown. So it'll be really interesting to see if anybody watches those videos. I do have my new Icon mug up there. Judy got me the Been There mug for Icon, which is very, very nice. Fred and Lisa said, Fred lets things get to him. Just let it go, Fred. I let it go. It's actually good that Judy's with me. So on the cruises where Judy's with me, I let things go way more. Otherwise, if I'm by myself, I get aggravated, and I'm just like wandering the ship aggravated, which is so dumb. It's not ruining anyone else's cruise. It's just ruining my cruise. So again, just a me problem. Charlie said some Europeans were smoking nonstop on their balcony next to my whole last MSC cruise. Figured they just had different rules. No, I think look, what I will say is if you complain to MSC, I've seen MSC just shut people down. So it's a different vibe for sure. I've seen people go up. I've seen the MSC people, like at guest services, people will go up and start complaining. And the MSC people are like, enough. We're done. We gave you the answer. That's it. So they're public, they're private. So slightly different vibe there. But yeah, it's sometimes it's wild. Emmy and Tino book Transatlantic on NCL Luna in March. Rates for 2 and a balcony right about 5K. That's awesome. That is not bad at all for a Transatlantic. How long is it? Sounds great. Michelle said, I will be a solo traveler. It gave me a huge amount of information. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, traveling solo is really interesting. My next 3 will all be on Norwegian. 2 of them will be solo getaway. I'm going solo. As you saw, Ryan and I are going to have dinner now. And then I will be on Aqua in August. And then we did see Aqua as well. We saw Aqua at Great Stirrup Cay. Of all places, they actually docked. When we were at Perfect Day, Aqua was there, and they docked. And it does look like the dock is coming along. So I think that dock's going to be done this year, which is great news. And there's a ton of construction going on in the island. So you can tell they're getting ready to build the pools and everything. And then I'll be on Escape with Judy in September. So lots of Norwegian coverage for the rest of this year. I'll also be on Joy in October. So next 4 are all Norwegian. And then Wonder, and then MST Grandiosa. Emmy and Tino said, tell the Broadway fan there's a great Broadway charter on 6th Man. It's wonderful. There you go. 13 nights is great. That's a great deal for 13 nights. Right above $5,000 for a balcony. 6th Man does a great job on their charter stuff. They're awesome. I forgot we were doing cruise news. Back to cruise news. Forgot all about it. I went on my rant about people, and I forgot all about it. Venezia is back in New York. Speak of the devil, which we were just talking about. Again, if you're going on Venezia, we were on a 4-day. That was indeed a booze cruise. But I think if you go on the week-long ones or a 9-day cruise, I think it's a totally different experience, and I think you're going to have a great time on it. And then Tony Diaz, speak of the devil, Liberty and Symphony are now in Bayonne. So is a celebrity ship. What is it? Silhouette, I think. So Liberty and Symphony are now in Bayonne for the season. So get ready for that. It should be fun. I think AJ's doing a Liberty tour in a couple weeks. It's like right before I go away, so I'm not doing that one next. But yep, should be great. Margaritaville at Sea has added a 3rd ship. They purchased another ship from Costa. I have it up here. So they're adding a 3rd ship in 2026. It's the Costa Fortuna. The Islander, Margaritaville at Sea Islander, which was their 2nd ship, really outperformed their expectations. I think it's because it was a nicer ship. The original Margaritaville ship is just awful. It looks old. It's worn down. I think when they bought Paradise and they put it out, it was like very much like, let's see if this is going to work. And it was popular because it was inexpensive. And then Islander came out, and I think they did a pretty good job with Islander. And now they purchased another one, and there's going to be a 3rd ship. We were docked next to Islander in Honduras, Cozumel. I don't remember. And it actually looked nice. We looked down at it. It looked like it was in good shape. Everybody looked like they were having a good time. So that is good news for Margaritaville at Sea. It's always nice to have more options. So Ryan said, I found Venezia to be very clean. Did you catch the people who were upgraded due to cockroaches? Wouldn't be surprised if they brought them to get upgrades. Amazing. Yeah, people are nuts. I've never seen bugs on a cruise ship. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I thought Venezia was clean as well. I think most cruise ships are very clean. It'd be shocking for me to think that rooms had, but they're just cleaned so much that it's hard to believe that happens. But look, crazy things happen. Tony said, I'm only going out of Bayonne once this year. Next cruise is out of Southampton on Independence with that guy who shall remain nameless. His name is Matt something, and he has a channel on YouTube. Speaking of people who have very large followings on YouTube, that person has a very large following on YouTube, and they are excellent. So that's another path to go, but that's a long haul. Like your Tony from La Lita Loca, your Emma Cruz. Emma Cruz has been on YouTube for 10 years. Gary Bembridge, those people that have hundreds of thousands of followers. But that takes a very long time. And Gary Bembridge is like the OG. He's been on YouTube forever. But yeah, Matt Hochberg does a great job. Michelle said, have a great day and great cruise, everyone. Thanks so much, Michelle. You too. Yeah, I am out of Bayonne, not out of Bayonne, out of New York for my next 3, which is nice, not having to fly for my next 3 cruises. And then back to Miami and then back to Port Canaveral for the end of the year. But I do try in the summer. I try as much as I can to go out of New York, Bayonne. The problem now is that we've been on so many of these ships. Good problem to have. We've been on so many of these ships that it's really difficult to, otherwise I'm going to be on the same ships every year. And I'm really trying to not repeat like every single year. Like every couple of years, like I'm going back on Getaway, but it's been 3 years, I think, since I've been on Getaway. And then I'm going back on Joy, but it's a different ship. So it's not a different ship, but it's been upgraded. So there are changes and it'll be interesting to see, and I'll get a new ship tour out of it. So I do try, but it's difficult at this point because I've been on Liberty. I've been on Symphony twice. I was on Symphony twice, 2 months in a row. I've been on Oasis twice, although we're going to go on Oasis in September of 26. There's just running out of ships without paying a ton for travel to Europe and different places. Glenn Miller, NCL Luna booked for 2027. That is amazing. I hope you have an amazing time. I am booked some point next year on Luna. Lots of Norwegian next year. Jewel, Pearl, Luna. My next year is already all booked. It's pretty crazy how far in advance you have to book these cruises. I'm on MSC Seaside next year. I'm on Liberty again next year. So I'm on Liberty in January out of Miami. I'm on Star Princess next year. Discovery Princess next year. Seashore. Lots of stuff going on next year. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy how far in advance you have to book these cruises. Next up, Utopia has added a non-smoking casino. This is on the new ship. On the older ships like Oasis, they added the non-smoking casino where the Jazz Club was down there on deck 4. And now on the new ship, Utopia, they've added the non-smoking casino where the comedy club is. The Attic Comedy Club, because reasons. I'm not sure why. I guess it wasn't well attended, but that's where it is. Hope said, what day for Star Princess? Hope I am on Star Princess February 21st for now. My stuff does get moved around a lot. Kim said, hello all. When do you think sailings for summer and fall of 27 will be available? Look at Alaska and Tokyo. Alaska will be out. Depends on the cruise line. So Royal, I'll tell you in a sec. Pulling up the deployment schedule to see if 2027 is in here. Tis not. There's no announcement yet for 2027. Peanut's here. She's interested. Peanut, where do you want to go on a cruise? Same. Looks like guesses out for summer. Hi, Peanut. Summer looks like around October, and then fall would be shortly after that, December, January-ish for fall, I'm guessing. Sooner than later, because they're trying to really push out further. So that's my guess for Alaska. Tokyo, probably the same time, because Tokyo is going to be in that deployment for the Far East over there. Alex said, John, how was Icon? Did you finally run into Rover? So, no. Alex, I think there's a Rover issue. Do you think there's a Rover? We'll get into that in a second. Ash said, hi, Peanut. Yep. She left already. She's gone. Kim, thank you so much for the super chat there. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Try to give out some good work here. So I really appreciate that. Peanut wants food all the time. So no surprises there. So Alex, very good question. We did not run into Rover. What I found is that Rover barely comes out. It seems like Rover comes out about 15 minutes a day. We stalked him all week, or her. I forget if Rover's a boy or a girl. We stalked them. We were looking all over the place. We did see Rover in we went to like the top tier event, and Rover came out and waved to everybody. And that was really it. We looked all over. It was mostly in the Aqua Theater or the Aqua Dome area that Rover would come out and just be out there for like 5 or 10 minutes. I think they had a little bit of an issue with Rover because all the stuff that we've read is that Rover doesn't like big crowds. Rover struggles a little bit with anxiety and stuff. So I think it was maybe just a little bit too much for Rover. But we tried our best. We really wanted pictures with Rover. Did not happen. That did not happen. Excuse me. Glenn said, are you planning to do a video on MTL Luna? I am indeed. As soon as I can, I will do videos on Aqua. I'll do videos on Luna. We absolutely will. Next bit of cruise news. We got 2 quick ones left. This is a long live for a Sunday morning. Star of the Seas has changed their supper club from the New York theme to Chicago theme. And I do have a thing to say about the Empire Supper Club. Oh, Hope said there is no February 21st. Oh, hold on, Hope. I'll tell you in a second, Hope. I might have just transposed those numbers there. Let's see. Super exciting watching John. Look it up. It's February 21st, 2026. Star Princess. Not Star of the Seas. I don't know if you were thinking I was saying Star of the Seas. Oh, no problem, Hope. You're totally fine. It's all good. I am here to look things up. It's all good. It's my job. Last bit of cruise news. We just talked about it a little bit. Royal is breaking all kinds of records for attracting first-time cruisers. That is their thing right now. It's what they want to be doing. The other thing I noticed on both this sailing and the independent sailing, the Crown Lounge is empty. There's not a lot of people in there. There were only, I think I took a picture of it. There were not a ton of gold, right, which is your entry level on Crown and Anchor. There were not a lot of Diamond Plus, and I think there were only 20 Pinnacle people on board the ship. So it's interesting, very interesting, is coming out of the pandemic, you saw tons. They were talking about how crowded the Crown Lounge was, and if they were going to eliminate Diamond from being able to use it because there was too many people in there. And now it seems like there are very few in there at all. It was never more than 2 people in there when we went in to grab coffee or cookies or whatever. So interesting methodology, interesting things that Royal is doing to attract new people. Look, it's working. So they're crushing it. The prices continue to rise. They continue to sell out every cruise, all of the things that they're doing. So good for Royal. I'm just noticing things on my end that I don't love with new cruisers. But look, the only way to become a recurring cruiser is to be a new cruiser. So I think it's great. I think it's great that there's new cruisers. My bone of contention isn't with that. It's with not keeping the rules and not showing people right from the beginning, right? It's the same thing. Like you give someone an inch, they're going to take a yard, and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? So if you set those standards quickly, like, hey, this is a good cruise line. We're going to follow the rules here, and we're going to not let you have your diaper on in the pool, child or adult. No diapers in the pool. Seems like the least bit of controversy ever, but it's not up to me. So, but I'm all for it. We're travel agents. We want people to go on cruises. I want new people to go on cruises. But it's developing a vibe, a little bit of a vibe. Kim said, my family will continue booking cruise lines other than Royal, trying out Virgin, NCL, Carnival, and MSC next year. That's great. You're going to have a great time. Look, my biggest problem, the biggest conundrum for me is that I love Royal. I love it. They have my favorite cruise ships. They have all my favorite entertainment. I love Icon. It's my favorite cruise ship that I've ever been on. It was spectacular. Nothing felt crowded. There weren't, it's amazing. It was amazing. The entertainment was amazing. The Effector show was great. It was better than Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz was a little weird. The Aqua Theater show was great. The ice skating show was great. All the entertainment around the ship was amazing. The dueling pianos bar was amazing. I loved everything about it. So I just wish it wasn't so expensive, and I wish it wasn't all first-time cruise. But it's all good. Great things. The food was great. Everything was great. We had a great, great, great week. The itinerary was great. The weather was great. No complaints. Hope said, your Star Princess sailing is a great price. It sure is, Hope. Yeah. Very, very, very good. Fred and Lisa, Virgin is only doing a very few cruises on Brilliant out of New York. Otherwise, they are mostly down south. They only have 4 ships, so they're still mostly Florida. But there's a few here and there out of New York. Black Broadway Lady said, a warning should be given to passengers, letting them know what behaviors will not be tolerated. There are standards. There are rules that must be followed. They just choose to not enforce them. So, it's the same thing with the chair hogging, which is not an issue on Icon because there are so many chairs. So, but it's that. There are specific rules. You're not allowed to vape around the ship. You're only allowed to vape in smoking areas. Just nobody enforces the rule. You're not allowed to have diapers. There's signs everywhere. No diapers, no children that aren't potty trained in the pools. But they are, and nobody says anything. So no Bluetooth speakers, right? But they're everywhere. They're on the elevator. People on the elevators with Bluetooth speakers, super loud. Here's what I will say. Enough negativity. The elevators on Icon are spectacular. I never take the elevators on cruises because they're gross. People are running in and out. People are rude. The whole 9 yards, right? It's everything you hate about the elevators. They're amazing on Icon. The elevators, look, that's a reason to pay more money. It's just for the elevators. They're incredible. The destination elevators are one of my favorite things about the cruise ship. So great. They're never crowded. They're amazing, amazing. Ryan said, I read where $1 Million Quartet is no longer on Getaway. That is correct, Ryan. It is no longer. They took it off. It's now there are 2 new shows. It's the Red, White, and Country. I'll tell you in a sec. I'll look this up. This will be the last thing we do here. I'm going to go out to lunch with my parents. They're waiting to hear from me. My mom just keeps calling. She just keeps dialing the phone. Log in here to NCL, and I shall tell you. NCL is not letting me in. Helps if you type your password right. Karen said, I loved $1 Million Quartet. It's sad it's not there anymore. I agree. I loved it too. I loved all the shows on Norwegian that they've gotten rid of. I'm just glad they haven't gotten rid of Choir Man yet. I know it's going to come at some point, but nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's see. Entertainment. Bum, 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 bum. Where are the shows? They're also having problems. If anybody's going on Aqua, one thing to keep in mind is that they're having issues with their system. So you cannot book dining in advance on Aqua. Just keep that in mind. If you are going on Aqua, you're not going to be able to book your dining ahead of time, which is a real bummer. But that's for everyone. So you're not it's not just certain people. Bring back the 90s, Red, White, and British, and Icons, the bands. So they're all 3 new shows that they put together that are going to be on Getaway and Ignite the Night. So yes, they're getting rid of most of the Broadway shows. Sad but true. But look, I just saw The Wizard of Oz on Icon, and it was weird. So as long as the shows are good, I'm in. And the Effectors show, which is a royal show, I had a great time. I thought it was great. So, all right, that is our cruise news for today. Sorry about my rants about the people. I'll do my video that'll be out tomorrow, which will be my review and debrief of Icon of the Seas. It was amazing. So you'll get all the good stuff in there. We'll talk about the food, the entertainment, and then I'll start getting all the vlogs and stuff done. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all for the live on Wednesday. Bye, everyone. See ya.